little confused actually about this issue of Jewish chosenness and being the chosen people. Because on the one hand, I've heard you and others saying that we're very much chosen as an end in and of itself. God, in some ways, sees Israel as the apple of his eye. He wishes to, in some ways, be married to them. In some respects, there is a real, some ways, a favorite of his nations. And it seems like it's very much chosen as an end in and of itself by God. But then on the other hand, I've heard you and other rabbis speak about being chosen as a means to an end. We're chosen in order to be a light so that the nations in some ways are actually the end, where, every single human being is the end, where we're just vessels of God's light to all of humanity. And one argument in favor of that could be, if you look at God's conversation with Moses, with Moshe, when he's saying he's just fed up with the Jews, he wants to destroy them after, I think it's after the golden calf incident, and Moshe says, but then this is going to make you look so ridiculous. You take the Jews out of Egypt, do all these things, make a massive Kiddush Hashem, revelation of God, and then you destroy the Jews. What's that going to do to your name? Implying that this is a means to an end relationship. So, which is it? Are we chosen as an end or as a means?
Let's put it in crass terms. A father has a favorite among his many children. He has a favorite. He chooses to send his favorite son to deal with the wickedness of all the other sons. You don't expect that. If you're my favorite, I protect you, I keep you close to myself. Like even Yaakov, this is an overlooked detail in the story. Yaakov sends Yosef to see how the brothers are doing. He didn't know that the brothers don't like him?
Did he? I don't know. Was he aware?
Yes,
He was?
yes, yes, very much. Why do you send your favorite son to take care of the ugliness in the family? Put the onus and the burden on the ugly ones. So, yes, we are God's firstborn, we are God's child, we are God's delight, apple of his eye. Why does he send us to fix this ugly world? That's the chosen. He chose us to fix the ugliness in the world. And that doesn't really make sense, does it? If you really like us that much, why don't you give us an island unto ourselves where we can live in absolute bliss and let the ugly people fight it out? No. We are chosen to bring morality and godliness to the ugliest corners of the world. So yes, being chosen is a means to an end. But who does he choose? The most unlikely. Esav is the fighter. Yaakov is the student. And Yaakov has to conquer Esav. How do you figure? Like Jackie Mason said, nobody is afraid to walk in a Jewish neighborhood. What is he going to get mugged by an accountant with a sharp pencil?
It's very true.
So Yaakov is supposed to look up from his book and conquer Esav, who was the master at war. The irony of it, we should fix the world. All right. You're slaves in Egypt. That's all you know. The entire generation grew up being a slave. God takes us out of Egypt and says, fix the world. So, no, 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 no. We're the slaves.
Mm.
We don't fix the world. Nobody listens to us. No, no, it's your job. Fix the world. And then an even more dramatic example, after the Holocaust. After the Holocaust, the Rebbe says to his handful of Hasidim, come on, we got to fix the world. No, no, you don't understand. We are the victims. We don't conquer anything. You want me to read a book? I'll read a book, but I can't conquer the world. So at Mount Sinai, where God revealed himself to us in a very personal, intimate way, also chooses us to be the fixers of all the ugliness in the world. How does that work? How does Yaakov defeat Esav? How?
But also, why? Why is God choosing, and why is Jacob choosing their favorite, potentially sacrificing their favorite?
Well, I guess you don't choose a favorite. If you have to choose, you're not so favorite. Let's
What I
see.
mean is,
It's
why is he using them for this difficult
right.
work?
Right, exactly. If we're so precious to you, why are you sending us to war?
Right.
Because you're the only ones who can win. Because it's all ideological. All evil stems from the belief that life is mine to make of it what I want. That's it. That explains Nazis, communists, dictators, conquerors. What message do we bring to them? Your life is not about you. That's it. That's what it all hinges on. If you think life is about you, you're dangerous. If you know life is not about you, you could make this world a very nice place. Which leads us to my favorite subject. We're not here for ourselves, we're here to serve the Creator. He's needy, we are not. And people get completely bent out of shape. Oh, needy? He's needy? Find a better word if you don't like needy. But you get the idea. We are here because God needs something to happen. If you don't believe that, you're part of the problem. Because if it's not all about him, then it is about me. And if it's about me, there is evil to follow. It's all ideological.
So we're chosen in order to do a job, in order to go to battle, but we're also at the same time God's favorite child in terms as a nation, in terms of the children of nations. What is it about Israel that makes it God's favorite?
The Jewish soul. The Jewish soul is literally a little piece of God. The human soul is a creation of God. God's creation. The godly soul that makes us Jewish is not a creation, it's a little piece of Him. It's a little piece of Him. So, does He like it? It's Him. That's not a choice. So, God sends a little piece of Himself into His creation. Now, a little piece of Himself can transform the creation. But another creation cannot transform creation.
But that would mean in some way that if we're the first, when if the analogy is firstborn, still the children are all they're all children in the same sense of two sets of parents. But here it seems like you're actually defining a Jew and a non-Jew as quite radically different. So how is the firstborn analogy appropriate?
Jew and non Jew are radically different. Ask any anti Semite. I think this is the one thing we agree on. Yeah. We are of a different essence. It's not a question of degree. Like who is more human? No, that's Nazis. Human beings are human beings, and no one is more human than any other human. That would be racist. And by the way, I don't know what the word racist means either. It's one of those words you just throw at people to hurt them. What does it mean? Nobody knows. What's a race? If your skin is darker, you're a different race. You've been out in the sun too long. A different race. You live at the equator, so you have darker skin. Not a new race. What is a race? If you're short, if you're tall, you're a different race? I don't know what that means. I think it's an evil concept.
This is
So,
interesting though. Hmm.
so the misunderstanding. Jews are different from non-Jews because we were chosen. No, Jews are different from non-Jews, which is why we were chosen.
Hmm.
It wasn't a toss of the coin. God had to choose somebody, so He just happened to speak Hebrew. And we speak Hebrew, so He said, oh, okay. There's a reason that we were chosen, which means we were different to begin with. We didn't become Jewish by choice. God chose the Jewish people. So we were already Jewish, which is radically different from non Jews. In addition to that, we were given this chosen role or job.
But in terms of the issue of the means and the end, and who the purpose of creation, is God's purpose, is His end to dwell in this world and uh, be in relationship with all humanity in an equal way, and the Jews are His agents in that? Or is there more of a direct purpose specifically connected with the Jews as an end in this world?
The relationship with Jews is not a means to an end. Creation has to have a purpose. God's relationship with the soul of a Jew, there's no purpose because it's not a creation. Like God doesn't need a purpose to exist. Creation needs a purpose because you didn't have to create. So why did you? But the purpose of creation is that God becomes the God of every individual in the world. And not just because they believe in him, but because he is their entire reality. That's a godly world. A world where godliness is the natural condition.
And he's seeking a relationship with all of humanity as an end.
Yes. Or somebody said, the laws of the Torah are not like the laws of the land. It's like the law of gravity. It's an inevitability, not some arbitrary decision.
Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.